Welcome everybody to the Evasion podcast. My name is Fudge XL. We have a bunch of great things to talk about today. But first, let's get to my co-stars of this evening. Ash, would you like to introduce yourself?
Well, as Fudge said, I'm Ash, known as AshIV_ on all social platforms. I'm the captain of the content team here at Evasion, and I'm excited to talk about some Tarkov going on today.
Gino?
Hi, my name is Gino. I'm sure you guys have seen my face and thought I'm 13, but I promise you I'm 21. I release content everywhere, Gino on certain platforms, and I am a part of the original 10 of Evasion. Now it's, kind of branched out, but I'm just happy to be here and talk with beautiful gentlemen like we have in the call here today.
All right. Well, we have a lot of great topics to talk about today. We're going to start with something a little bit light. I know a lot of you are here to get our thoughts on the cheaters and the video and all that stuff. We'll get to that. Don't worry. But to start it out a little bit light, what do you guys have going on? Any other games you guys have been playing? Any trips you have planned? Really anything, out of the ordinary? Gino, what you got?
I've been playing a lot of the Sons of the Forest game, that new game that comes out by the developers of the Forest, and that's been a lot of fun. I've been playing some Valheim recently. No plans coming up besides maybe TwitchCon or anything like that. Some games here and there, but other than that, just been kind of casually playing Tarkov and just playing some other games as well, like Valheim and Sons of the Forest.
Oh yeah. What about you, Ash?
Yeah, I've been messing around with a bunch of other games as well, and I've been dipping into DayZ for the first time. Never touched that game before. That's a wild adventure, I'll tell you that. Sons of the Forest, like Gino said, I also did play. Once again, I don't think I'm surviving that like in IRL. Like this stuff goes down. I realized that very quickly in both of those games. But yeah, I've just been going between Tarkov, DayZ. Like I said, Sons of the Forest was good the day I played it. I'm excited for Diablo to come out. And as for trips, yeah, I'm looking forward to TwitchCon, and maybe I can swing GCX or something like that. It'd be good to do a couple things. And my main focus right now is kind of getting YouTube going, since that was something I kind of neglected for a while. So that's kind of where my focus is right now.
Hell yeah. I mean, you're doing very well on all social media platforms right now, so hats off to you. But
thank you.
Personally, myself, I've just been playing a lot of Tarkov. I am planning on dabbling in the new Destiny expansion. I did just get back from Loot Fest, which was a little bit of a smaller event, but it was a ton of fun. Got to hang out with a lot of new people, meet a lot of people, made a ton of friends. And then also I'm planning on going to TwitchCon as well, so that will be exciting. Got to iron out all the details for that, and can't wait to get there. So what do you guys got planned for 2023? Any goals you guys been working on? Anything you have your eyes set on? I know, Ash, you just mentioned YouTube, so I don't know if you want to take from there, if anything else going on.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at things when it comes to like the stream, the brand that I'm trying to push, yeah, YouTube is definitely something that I didn't get too into over time. I realized the way my brain works. I started trying to do everything at once, trying to build up Twitch, build up TikTok, build up YouTube, all that. But the way my brain works, it just scrambled. You know what I mean? So I decided to focus on like certain things at a time. Focus on getting Twitch partner. Once you got that, I focused on blowing up the TikTok. Once that started taking off, now it's about that time. You know what I mean? So we did finally just hire an editor, so I have new videos coming out every week. Push for YouTube partner this year, really get that going. And when it comes to the content stuff, that's kind of where I'm going. And I really just want to like expand and try a bunch of different things, and dabble a little more into variety than I used to. Even though I would switch it up now and then, it would be good to get that a little more consistency. So that's kind of where my mind is right now, and not trying to slap too many like metrics and numerical values on things as much, and more worried about like growing as a whole and seeing where that goes.
Well, I mean, anybody that's watched you can, basically say that every social media platform you focused on, you've knocked it out of the park and more. So nothing but faith that you'll get that YouTube up and running and crushing that soon. What about you, Gino? What do you got going on in 2023?
Well, this has been a pretty wild year so far. You know, there's been a lot of plans that I have, you know, whether it be stream, outside of stream. On stream, I kind of plan on getting YouTube partner here soon. And I just actually applied for Discord partnership, which I'm hoping to hear back, and kind of just some tips and tricks here and there, how to maybe get it. But I think the most important one is my life journey outside of it. You know, I'm 21. I just turned 21. There's a lot of new things coming to my life and stuff. And, you know, it's just one of those things. I'm going to the gym, bettering myself. And I think I'm just focusing on a lot of my life stuff that I've kind of put away in my teens when I was playing Counter-Strike and Tarkov and stuff. So I'm just getting my life, you know, settled down, you know?
You know, I'm kind of right there with both of you. I've kind of neglected YouTube for way too long. Maybe not the short form aspect of it, but the long form content I feel like it's a lot harder to make long form content than it is to make short form.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's that I'm just used to making short form, so it just comes easier. But I really want to kind of expand my mind a little bit and try to find my niche as far as long form content goes. But all right, let's dive into the hot topics of the weekend. Obviously, everybody knows we had that video come out. The cheater situation seems rampant. Goat's video, what do you think? Was it good? Was it bad? Just your opinion overall. Ash, what you got?
So this one's a little weird because it did show me something. It did show me something less about the cheater situation and more about the community. I wasn't aware, and it could be just because I'm so into like everything Tarkov all the time. You know, it's our life. You know, so like to me, videos like this have been done before. You know, I personally already knew that cheaters wiggle to each other to tell that they're cheaters. I also knew there was cheaters in almost every raid. Like, this has been done before, right? This has been done over and over again, in my opinion, right? It was news to me that this was news to people, you know? So, like, that kind of struck me as a little weird. But like I said, I have to go off of what my brain tells me, and my brain tells me that I've seen this over and over again. Now, the video, to me, it was a different approach, where it was a guy buying cheats to use them. Not a fan of that. Not even a little bit. You know what? Like, I can't speak for the guy's intentions. You know, he went on, he bought cheats if you guys didn't see it, and he pretty much talked about how easy it is to get them and how they work and stuff. And like, I don't think that he had any bad intentions in doing so. I think he had good intentions, but I don't know the guy. You know, I've never talked to him a day in my life. But like, I didn't like that it seemed to like promote, this is this easy, it's this cheap, this is how you use it. And although it wasn't his intention, I could see how people could see it that way. But to me, it was a guy who bought cheats, used them, and gave us, or at least me, no new information. So it was wild to see the way this blew up. You know, I personally, when I first saw it, I'm like, man, this guy's gonna get dragged for buying cheats. I didn't expect the explosion on the other side, that like, oh, this guy's video is showing us so much. Because in my mind, I was like, I thought we already knew this. Like, this is, what is this helping? You know what I mean? But like I said, I don't know the guy. I can't assume any bad intentions, good intentions. I don't know the guy. The video to me is what it is. You know, it didn't affect the way I see the game because, like I said, I already knew that kind of stuff. But I could see how, if it's news to people, it affects the way they feel and see Tarkov. So that's kind of how I feel about this video in particular.
I have a little bit of a different outlook on it, but we'll see what Gino has to say, and then I'll chime in after.
So I haven't actually watched the video yet. I've heard about it, but I haven't watched it. I understand, you know, the whole topic of it, but it's just not something that really has interested me to watch, to kind of sit down and watch. I think it's interesting for newer people in the community that maybe, you know, sit down and watch. But like Ash said, you know, a lot of people asking me my thoughts on a video. As somebody who's been playing this game for 7 years, streaming it for 3. You know, I've known about these cheaters. I've known about these cheaters every single year, and there's always, you know, once a year it seems like there's always this video that comes out about cheaters, and it doesn't surprise me. As bad as that might sound, like I knew that 60% of my raids or 60% of the people, or whatever the 60% is, I knew that that was happening, and it doesn't really shock me. I think a lot of people are asking because they're newer to the community. You know, a lot of people in the community are coming into the game and they're like, oh my gosh, you know, I can't wait to play. But then they see this video and they're like, wow, you know, cheaters are a thing. I've known about this. You know, I'm sure all of us in here have seen our fair share of cheaters. It didn't really surprise me seeing this. The only thing that really did surprise me was that I never really knew about the wiggle. That, you know, that was a little something, but I never really knew that they kind of communicated that way. I think it's interesting, but I think it's just more so you have to look at the community's response. You know, how do we deal with this, or how does Battlestate, you know, battle this ongoing cheating issue? And, you know, with all these videos that come up, you know, it's one of those things where we just have to figure out as a community what we can do to help. And I just don't think the guys' video itself was helping, because like Ash said, it kind of promoted buying these cheats. It kind of promoted how easy it was to get these cheats. I didn't really like that, but other than that, it's always something that I knew as a creator. You know, I've seen these cheaters for so long that I kind of seen these people on the servers, and I knew that a lot of my raids had them in them.
So I kind of look at it differently than you guys. So I don't think he necessarily advertised the cheats, and like, I mean, anybody that has Google can just Google Tarkov cheats, right, and just figure it out from there. So it really doesn't take much to figure out how to get them. You know what I mean? I think everybody looks at that as like the negative side of things, but doesn't look at like the big picture of it really did open up a lot of eyes, I feel, and kind of show the state of like, we might be in trouble here. You know what I mean? Like the fact that he did 125 raids and he said, you know, 60% of the time there's somebody doing something. That's pretty alarming to me. I mean, I play this game more than probably anybody should, and, you know, more than the casual player does. But, you know, when you play this game as much as we do, you know, it being our jobs, how is this affecting our day-to-day like operations? You know what I mean? So like, I want to see BSG do something pretty drastic and pretty soon. I mean, obviously we know they came out with that list. That's another topic that we'll discuss. They came out with the list of bans, and then there's the community anti-cheat, which is also something we'll discuss. But I just feel like it's something that the community needed. But also at the same time, I don't want to see other creators try to emulate it. So if you actually go to that video, the pinned comment, Pastilli said, we don't need another one of these videos for a long time. And I don't want somebody trying to do that just for the views. You know what I mean? That would be promoting cheating to me. Mm-hmm. I mean, do you guys think that 60% is like a solid number of how many cheaters are in our raids? I mean, that's kind of crazy, you know, 60%. Think how vast that is. Ash, you got anything to add on to that?
Yeah. It's a big number, and like I said before, and I want to make it clear if I wasn't clear the first time. I don't think this person like tried to advertise cheating. I don't. If that came off that way, that is not what I tried to say. It just inadvertently seemed like it, because like you said, like obviously you can Google, but like people who've never looked into it, you know, might not, like, don't know the process, you know. But someone saying like it's this easy, you could do this, and this, and kind of stay under the radar, you know, it could be viewed that way. But like I said, I don't think that was intentional. I don't think he was a schemer in that regard. But like you said, that's a huge yeah, it seems like a big chunk of people are cheating, and like I said, and Gino said a little earlier, it all depends on where you sit and what information you know ahead of time to how you're going to view the video. because to me, I already knew that. Like, there's been, like I said it, I just said it, like, there's been videos like this already, just not someone buying cheats and using them, but the same information. So depending on what you've already, like, if you knew this already, this video was not new to you, and it was just a different approach, whether you like it or not. It was just a different approach. If you have never heard that before, then I can see some value in opening eyes, like you said, you know, opening eyes to it. It's going to depend person to person. It's going to open your eyes if you didn't know, and it's the same stuff we hear all the time. You know, like, nothing was new to me in that besides how he did it. You know what I mean? So it's going to go person to person. Like, you saw it as eye-opening. I did not. You know what I mean? And I think people listening to this or people seeing the video are going to feel the same way. If they've seen the other videos already, they're going to be like, what is this guy doing? If they haven't, they're like, dude, no way. There's this many cheaters. And then the others are like, duh. Like, yeah, we knew that, you know? And hopefully, I mean, the good that can come out of it, maybe. I don't know anything about anti-cheat. I don't know anything about game developing. So this is just old Bobby boy talking. It's like, if it opened enough eyes that people didn't see it before, and it really actually does something to make BSG invest more in anti-cheat or find a different one, or, and like I said, it's probably complex. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. It's just like, if good can come from it, sure, like, then it is what it is. It's a good thing. But otherwise, I didn't see anything new from it that would, you know, I would like to see more information about it, you know, like something new, like, yeah, like logs they don't have access to, you know, or like raid to raid, you know, like what was found, instead of just like, look, we're wiggling and like, you know, this guy's doing this guy teamed up with me. It's just like, it was nothing new for me. But like, yeah, I do agree that there's a lot. It's a big number, but it's not surprising. I kind of knew that already.
Gino, you got anything to add to that?
I think with I honestly don't know. I think I'm avoid cheating because of the fact that I have a Twitch in my name, and I feel like cheaters don't want to kill me because they're afraid that I will send their name to some, you know, some person or whatever. So I feel like I don't run into the cheating issue as much, like as 60% much, but I do think to an extent there are a lot of cheaters in, you know, every single raid. Whether it be 60%, I don't know. But I do also know that RMT and carry services are a form of cheating. And they will, you know, run somebody through labs and, you know, go get all the loot for the guy that, you know, paid for it or whatever it is. I don't know how the process works. But as far as me, they aren't trying to kill you, you know what I'm saying? So you don't know if they're in the lobby until a cheater actually kills you. So 60%, I think, is just a high number. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but to me it doesn't seem that high. I do think it's pretty crazy that 125 raids, 60% of them had cheaters. But like I said, I don't see all the cheaters. They aren't always killing me. They're doing their own things, whether they're in the lobby or not, I don't know. But to me, 60% is a very concerning number. If that is the case, that's something that we have to worry about. And like Ash said, I think Battlestate needs something new to come out from this. You know, we need a new response. You know, there's been name drops before, you know, the spreadsheet and stuff, which I think is great, but there's got to be something new from it that the community hasn't seen before. And I think that's something that we're just patiently waiting on at this point.
So I've seen a couple of people say this. If you ask me who, my memory's fried, so I won't have an answer for you. But I've seen this in the Tarkov space where people say, or they feel like the RMT restrictions have made it so cheaters are more in your face than they ever were before. Meaning, like, because they can't just simply loot, avoid players, sell the loot to online or whatever, however it works, they're now more like bringing carries along and killing PMCs to get people gear and so on and so forth. Do you think there's any truth to that? I mean, we've all been playing a couple wipes. Obviously, we can remember, say, 2 wipes ago when there really weren't many RMT restrictions to now. So, Ash, do you see any truth in that? I mean, what's your opinion on that?
Well, yeah, I mean, that makes plenty of sense to me. You know, whether it's factual or not, I don't know. In my personal experience, like Gino, I haven't ran into many cheaters this wipe. Like some, you know, and maybe like, you know, maybe some I just thought was a good shot and it was a cheater, but like blatant cheating, I haven't run into too much. And my name is not my Twitch name. But I've seen enough stories to know that it's like bad and it's happening with the wiping lobbies thing. Probably more than before because of that, because that makes a lot of sense. When they did that, I expected to be rage hacked more. It just hasn't happened, luckily, knock on wood, for me too much. But no, that makes a ton of sense. And I think those people that were making money cheating before that can't make as much money. Yeah, I mean, I think they're still using the cheats for different things. Yeah, I mean, well, like they're cheaters. You know, that's what they do. And so it's like if they're not running to get money for people or get gear for people and stuff, or to sell that, or they're taking carries, like you guys said, like into raid, like yeah, you're probably going to see an uptick in players killed by blatant cheaters like that. But the only thing is, most of them are not like that, so we don't even see most of the cheaters. You know, we don't even know they're there, but they're just creeping. You know, they're there. But yeah, like it makes sense to me what you said. Personally, I have not dealt with it, but I've heard enough from other people to think that maybe there's some truth to that. But I don't have stats. Like I don't know.
I mean, I think it's one of those things for me where I would almost rather see them roll back the restrictions to see if there's a difference, because I feel like I run into cheaters all the time. Maybe I just suck at the game and I die a lot, and that's my way of coping. But you don't have to make it so obvious, Ash. Okay,
sorry.
But but I wonder if they rolled it back a little bit, if we would see a difference, because it feels like, aside from maybe labs, a couple wipes ago, it just felt like you really didn't run into that many cheaters. And a lot of times you can even mistake it for desync. So I don't. What do you think, Gino?
So I was actually explaining something similar to that. What you just mentioned is something that I feel like not a lot of people talk about. Unfortunately, there's a lot of big issues with Tarkov, and one of them being the servers. And I think, you know, as for a casual player, if they get shot behind a wall or somebody pre-fires an angle, you know, it's one of those things, like it's really easy to call cheaters when it could just be the servers. And I know that's like a, you know, skill issue type comment, but the truth is Tarkov does have a lot of server issues. And when they do peek a corner, you know, on their screen, they might see them, and on your screen, you might not. And it's one of those things where that might be a server issue. That's not necessarily a cheating issue. And I think the community is very easy to say, oh, this guy's cheating, or oh, this guy's hacking, or, you know, this guy's doing, that guy just shot me through a wall, he has to be cheating. It's very easy for people to say that, but we have to look at, you know, the other issues as well. You know, I think cheating is one big issue, but the servers aren't helping with the whole, you know, accusation thing. When people are getting accused, I think the servers are just in a state as well that, you know, it's very easy to call somebody a cheater because, you know, desync and everything like that. I do think, like Ash said, I haven't run into a lot of cheaters this wipe. Unless I go somewhere like labs, I usually just run into a few, you know, here and there, but it's not necessarily blatant either. Like when the whole clip of the helicopter cheating, I'd never seen somebody do that in a raid, you know, so whether that's a thing or not, I've never seen that, you know, so I don't know if it's the servers I'm on or something like that, but I haven't noticed a lot of cheaters up front in my face recently. And, you know, and I've been playing my own game, doing my own thing. I push fights still, but I haven't been running into a lot of cheaters, and whether they're more up front because of the RMT changes, I don't know. But I do think I've seen somebody say this before. I think, are we catering towards getting rid of cheaters, or are we catering towards the player base? And I think we're getting to a point with Tarkov that it feels more so like we're trying to get rid of all these cheaters, but at the same time, we're getting rid of the player base. And I think this is a very, very big conversation that needs to be brought up to Battle State, is that, yes, we can put all these anti-cheats in and all these RMT restrictions, but we are losing good players in the process. And I think that's something that we need to talk about, especially more as a community. We're not catering towards the common player anymore. We're catering towards getting rid of cheaters. And I just don't know if that's the right direction that Battle State wants to go.
Yeah, I'm very curious to. I mean, there's no way to really have like a stat line based off of it, but I don't know if you guys saw the clip. Dill Hero recently got banned. It was only for a couple hours, I believe, or maybe 2 days or something like that, because of desync. Because if you watch the kid who died to Dill Hero's perspective, no doubt in my mind, I would say he's cheating, right? But then when you go and watch Dill Hero's perspective, he just hit a really nice shot, like a really nice flick on him. But the desync from the player that died's perspective made it seem like it was just completely blatant cheating. So I wonder really how many cheating accusations are caused by this problem, which is going to bring me into our next topic, the community anti-cheat. So obviously he was banned based off of a community report. Okay. So as you guys know, Trey is running a community anti-cheat server. Great intentions, maybe bad execution by BSG. Is there really any hope in a system like this where you kind of rely on the players to filter out who's cheating, who's not? I mean, what do you think, Gino?
I think the idea is really good. I just don't know if it's a direction that we necessarily need when it comes to anti-cheat. I realistically looking at it, I just it's weird to kind of cater towards the community when it comes to an anti-cheat. I think the idea is great. I love the idea, and I think it's really cool that they have been able to, kind of talk to the community and speak to the community in a sense of, getting people banned. But I feel like there are, like you said, Dill Hero got banned. There might be more people like that can't speak up like Dill Hero. Like if somebody posts a clip of dying to a cheater and they get banned, like the guy pretending, or the guy cheating gets banned, that person might not have the platform like Dill Hero to say, hey, I'm a streamer, like I'm 100% not cheating. So I feel like it's one of those things. It's scary to me that somebody like Dill Hero can get banned, but there probably are a dozen or so people that might have got wrongfully banned from one of these clips. And it goes to show you, the cheating issue is bad, but how bad is it when the servers are fixed? That's one of the things, like, I've always wondered, is if the cheating issue is battled, right? If the cheating issue is battled, we need to see the servers first. We need to see all these other issues with the game first, and then see how many of them are actually cheating, if that makes sense. So that's just my thoughts on it.
What do you think, Ash?
Yeah, I mean, I heard about the anti-cheat Discord thing that I don't think is running anymore, but it was for the past week, 2 weeks. I don't know how long, but I knew about it. I never saw it. I don't know exactly how they organized things in there or ran things in there. I don't know who was reviewing clips. I know Trey and company will say set it up, and apparently had a deal with BSG to where they would kind of review clips and filter them to BSG. And I can see, it seems like good intentions to me. Like I don't like know anyone involved too well. They're more acquaintances than anything to me. But that idea doesn't seem ill-intended, but like execution wise, they kind of relied too much on BSG. It seems like I get it, like filtering more clips over to be looked at. But like, I would assume the deal was the other end had to look in past that, not just handed to BSG and BSG say cheat, like look beyond that. I don't know if there's logs that they have that they can look at, or other information, other data that they could have put together with the clip to make a decision after the clips were filtered down. Because I saw the video you're talking about. Like the guy, like Dill Hero comes in the room. It looks like he spin bots the dude, like one tap. Like, yeah, like it looks bad. And then Dill Heroes, he's like 3 steps into the room before he even shoots the guy, you know? So like, yeah, that clip, if it happened to me right away, I would think cheating too. But like, you can't judge off of a clip. And this will bridge over what Gino said. Like, stuff like that to me will not work at all. Like I said, I think there was great intention. They just wanted to help the community. From what I saw, from what I heard, read, whatever, it seemed like it was to help, right? I don't see any reason to think like ill-intended. But a system like that with the network or desync as bad as it is, it's impossible. You know, you can't make a decision based off of a clip because it's that bad. Like it's the difference in seeing the spin bot looking clip, you know, versus the real perspective. It's not like close. It's drastic. You know what I mean? And like I said, I don't think the plan of that Discord was to base things off of a clip only, but it does seem like BSG didn't do more of looking into it and only base it off the clip. But I don't believe it would be silly for them. It would be. And like, I don't think they were being silly about it. When they're sending things to BSG, I assume they expected BSG to do research past that point. You know, sus clip, send, research, ban, not ban. Not sus clip, ban. You know what I mean? So it's gonna give them a bad look, and like that sucks, you know. But it's like nice idea. Try to help the community. Try to make the game we love better. But just the way the game is right now, it's like that. It just won't work. Like people are gonna get false banned because clips look bad. Clips look bad.
So I don't really know Trey all that well, but I definitely commend Trey and company for trying and the intention to help the community that, you know, he's a part of. Honest to God, I commend him for that. But at the end of the day, I think, and this might ruffle some feathers, but at the end of the day, I think BSG just needs to get their shit together. Excuse my French. They are it almost feels like they're being lazy, right? Like, why should this be handed down to the community? It's not the community's job to fix your problems. That's how I feel about it. It's the community's jobs to play your game, to promote your game, to help grow your game, not to fix your game. That's where my mindset on it is. I could be way wrong on that. But I think out of everything that's happened this week, the biggest plus side of everything going on is what appears to be more transparency from BSG. So, excuse me, they've been releasing that list, the list of banned cheaters. They banned 4,000 plus cheaters recently. And I like that they're being transparent, right? At least giving us something, because it kind of felt like we were left in the dark a lot. Do you think they should continue to release that list? And is there anything you think they can expand on with that list to make it even better? Ash, what do you think?
Well, I'm gonna start with agreeing and disagreeing with a couple things you just said. I agree. It shouldn't be up to the community to help find the cheaters, right? The fact that the community had to come together to try to, you know, and like that's weird. Like it's cool on our end, you know, but it does kind of seem weird that like the community. I'm gonna say we, like I wasn't involved in this, but we as a community had to try to do this. Like that's how you know it's like it's in like a weird spot, right? But I disagree. I mean, I know his opinion. You say it kind of seems like BSG could be being lazy about it. Like, to be honest, I don't think it's a lazy thing. I just don't know if they know how the fuck to do it, to be honest. Like, you know what I mean? And I don't know. I can't really say shit when it comes to that, because I don't know what it's like with game networking. I don't know what it's like with anti-cheat. I play games, right? I don't know. But like, to me, it just seems like they don't know how to fix it. But cheating, it's everywhere. It's in every game, and nobody can really figure it out. It's a constant battle, you know. Could BSG be doing more? Easy for us to say, yeah, of course, you know. But I don't fucking know. Yeah, right. I don't know shit about shit when it comes to that stuff. Sorry for all the cursing there, but you know what I mean. It's just like I don't know what to say. Now the transparency thing, yeah, because why the hell not? Like, yeah, I think they should continue doing that, because what does it hurt? I mean, maybe it'll hurt something, you know. Maybe people will have backlash, but until we see it and figure out, like, off the top of the head, them saying they did this and showing us that they did this, like, this is what happened. Yeah, I mean, that seems like some information you'd want to hear. Obviously, we want things to be fixed. But what does that mean? You know, how do they get there? We don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe some people do. Maybe some people's got all the solutions out that's not in BSG, and they just haven't been heard, you know, but I don't. But yeah, I mean, being transparent like that, like, I don't know why they would stop. Or I heard they used to do it and stopped, and I don't know why the hell you would stop, you know, if it's still an issue. Like, if that makes people feel at ease, do it. Why not?
I mean, so how do you think they could expand on their transparency? And do you have any ideas on ways for them to maybe fix the anti-cheat there, Gino?
Well, first off, I want to go back to the whole transparency part. I know you mentioned actually earlier that, like, one of the best parts of the past week has been transparency from Battle State, but I think something that isn't talked about enough is how many people and streamers and players are, like, kind of coming out of the woodworks and talking about these issues. I think something that really amazed me throughout the past week or so was the fact that, you know, all these players and streamers seem to be, you know, very vocal about this, and I think that's a good thing. I know a lot of people, you know, like to, you know, excuse my French, shit on streamers because, oh, you know, they shared an opinion, or, oh, they're shitting on the game or something like that. But the truth is, I can probably speak for both of you guys in here. The reason that we talk so much trash on this video game, and after every single death, you know, oh, well, I can't believe I just died of this. This game is, you know, booty, right? The reason that we say these things is because we care about the game. It's not because we hate the game. It's because we want better for the game. You know, it's like Tarkov is kind of like our little brother. You know, we're hating on it for it to be better. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's something that has come out from the past few weeks of, you know, this video and BSG being transparent. I think that's one thing that's been really cool to see, is how so many people have come together as streamers, as players, and truly talked about this. Because I think with anything in life, you know, communication is key. And the fact that so many people are communicating just means, you know, just goes to show you how great the community can be if we weren't just, you know, a bunch of, you know, people that were mad at the video game. You know, it's a great community. We just care for the game. And I think that's something that we should mention. Now, Battle State being transparent and stuff is great. I think they should do it more. Like Ash said, I don't see a disadvantage. I'm going to be honest. I don't see any, you know, thing that really indicates that this is bad, right, for the community. But for something that they can do further for the anti-cheat, I don't know. I'm not a game developer, but I think a better anti-cheat would probably be really cool, or an updated anti-cheat. I do know Nikita has been saying this for years. He made a Reddit post about it recently, is that it's a constant battle against hackers and cheaters. You know, they're updating their hacks just as much as we're updating our anti-cheat, you know? And it's one of those things that I think it's very hard to combat these cheaters. Now, whether or not we're in the right anti-cheat field, I don't know. You know, is Battle Eye the answer? I don't know, but I think one of the best games when it comes to anti-cheat is Valorant. Valorant has a very good anti-cheat, and it has a program where it opens on your computer at the start. Like when you start your computer, it opens with it. And I think that's something that somebody in my chat brought up the other day, is having something similar to that. That's just an idea. Would it work? I don't know. All right. It's a constant battle. And I think that's something that might work, might not. But that's just my take on that situation.
So going back to the transparency thing, yes, it's good that they're, you know, releasing this list, but when I bring up the transparency, I feel like prior to that tweet of that list, there has been little to none. And what I mean by that is the only transparency that really BSG has kind of given anybody was that streamer Discord, right? Which, if I'm being honest, really, I think it shouldn't really even exist, to be quite honest with you. I'm part of it, but I'm probably going to get kicked for saying this, but it's neither here nor there. They shouldn't just be only telling a group of people. They should be, any information should be shared to everybody. Okay. Like, they have their launcher, right? Use your launcher instead of sharing, you know, Gino's tweets. Share news going on in your game, in like right front and center, rather than you know, having to click on a tab or go to a forum or go to a Discord. It should be in your face, like, this is what's going on. I feel like when you're such a small, tight-knit community like Tarkov is, transparency is like the most important thing. I don't know if you guys disagree with that. If you agree with that, feel free to chime in. Get a little heated here. You guys got anything to add to that?
I'm hurt the fact that you don't want to see my tweets much. What the hell?
Yeah, no, I
using
agree
you
with
as an
that. I
example.
agree with that. The less Gino tweets I see when I boot up the game, the happier my experience probably will be. No, I think that's a good idea, dude. I think it's a good idea to keep it front and center on the launcher. And with that Discord that people always talk about, the streamer Discord, like, yeah, do I think that thing should be said in there, and like, to us and not to other people? No, I think that's stupid, to be honest. I think it's stupid. The other things in that Discord are just like sending clips, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not like a secret, like people, like, we can get people banned thing like people think it is. The one thing I would have to say negative is exactly what you said. Like, that stuff should be public information, not for us to like hear and like not repost, you know what I mean? But yeah, I agree with that. So,
Gino?
So, other than the tweet thing, you know, I do agree with you guys. I do think it's something that should be brought up, is the fact that, you know, I don't think it should be limited to that group of people that we have in that Discord. You know, I think it's something that as a community, they should share that, you know, as Battle State, they should share that with everybody. And I think it's just one of those things where more people want to hear that stuff too. You know, the more that Battle State is more transparent and more communicative with, you know, the player base, the less it feels like people are hating each other and like just going at each other's throats. You know what I'm saying? So I think the more that Battle State is more transparent, the more that, you know, the more that the hate seems to die down a little bit. And I think that's something that you guys brought up very, very well, that I don't really have anything else to share on.
I mean, I think another thing that they could do, just to kind of add on to it, is take a game like Call of Duty or Warzone, for example, right? When you load up the game, if there's any news going on in the game, it's like in your face as soon as you load up the game. You have to click through like 6 different screens to get to like what you actually are there to do, right? Now, if they're putting it in front of us and you're choosing not to read it, hey, that's on you. But like, I just feel like they're making one little step with this list when there's so much going on right now that they need to do significantly more. Let's lighten it up for a little bit, because I'm getting a little aggressive here. Overall thoughts on the wipe so far? Streets, have you been on it? Is the excitement worn off? Are you enjoying it? Are you getting decent frames on it? Gino, what do you think?
I'll be honest, I played a dozen raids on Streets. It's one of those things where, I think I mentioned this actually in the last podcast. The new maps in Tarkov, I love when they first come out, because, you know, everybody that's hyped to go there goes there, you know, and it gets them off my shoreline and my customs, you know what I'm saying? But as you know, the wipe goes on, I love sitting back and, you know, watching the community's reaction to, you know, whether it be how many players are in the server or how laggy it is. You know, I usually wait until mid wipe or so to actually indulge in these new maps. And I'm not questing this wipe. You know, I'm not doing any you know, Kappa running or anything like that. I'm kind of just doing my own thing. And I think that's something that I just don't go to the new maps right when they first come out, because I've noticed just a lot of people, you know, there's a lot to complain about. And that's just something that, you know, I'd rather go to my shoreline and jump out of balconies for, you know, a few months than hop on the new map and see what all the hype and complaining is about. And I like Streets. The FPS seems pretty good on my computer, but I also do this for my job, so it's kind of hard for me to, you know, not have good FPS. It's one of those things, like Streets itself seems a lot of fun. The PvP, when the raids that I did play were a lot of fun as well, but it's a new map in Tarkov, and it's just going to take some time to kind of get used to and stuff.
Yep, I would agree. I would agree. What do you think, Ash?
Well, Streets. I was super excited for Streets. I love that, like, I mean, I know a lot of Streets is outdoor, but you have a lot of opportunity for indoor fighting, and that's why I love those games. I grew up playing, like, Rainbow Six Vegas and all that stuff. Interchange was my favorite map before it was destroyed by loot and lighting, whatever. You know, I love to fight in dorms as much as I hate Shoreline. Sorry, Gino. I loved, like, fighting in Resort is a lot of fun, so Streets was very exciting for me. You know, I was very excited for Streets, and I tried playing it, and you couldn't move more than 10 feet because of rubber banding. So I didn't play it. I didn't learn it. There's been a couple updates that are supposed to make it better, so I dipped into it. Still some rubber banding. My RAM, my 32 gigs of RAM shoot up to about 95% when I'm on the map after the most recent update. I think it has the potential to be the coolest map of any game, especially once they expand it. I think it's hard to enjoy right now. I think it's hard to enjoy that. I don't even know the map. And this is like, I don't know if there's been any map Lighthouse, I guess, was released since I started playing. That was the only new map I've ever seen. You know what I mean? And like, so it's really exciting for me when a new map is coming in, because I didn't get to see all the other maps come in. I was super excited for Streets, and it just, like, I barely play it. You know, I barely play it because it runs like shit. I'm going to be honest. Like, it's not even an FPS issue. Like, the frames will be good, and then I run the same way 6 times, you know, and then my RAM shoots up, and then I start to get, like, micro stutters that aren't, like, part of, like, like, my frames aren't going down technically. It kind of looks like it, but I don't know. It's not the best, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I love it. I want to love it. I mean, I want to love it. It looks so cool.
I love the concept of it personally, but loading in and getting 40 frames, 30 frames is just like, come on. Like, I don't know. Maybe I just need a better PC, but I just feel like it's just not optimized enough. And, you know, that's just how it is. And until it is better optimized, I'm kind of going to just keep to, like, doing whatever Kappa tasks I have there. And then once I'm done with that, probably won't be going there much. Same with Lighthouse. That's kind of how I played it last wipe, or whenever it came out. Just wasn't very optimized, and only do my tasks and then never go there again, and just stick to Shoreline and customs and labs and such. Going back to the kind of hot topics, one thing I forgot to bring up and discuss: the invisible players. Have you guys ran into any? Have you guys seen any? Do you know anybody that has ran into any? Obviously, they supposedly fixed where you could force yourself to go invisible, but maybe not where it just happens accidentally. What do you think, Gino? Have you had any experience with this?
Well, before the issue was fixed, I did have a few issues with players being invisible, and I also saw some clips of Killa being invisible, which I did not think could ever happen. I did see a video of that, but after the fix, have not seen anything. I think they did a pretty good job, it seems. You know, it seems fixed. I think it's something that Battlestate has, released this patch perfectly. It seems fixed to me. I haven't heard anybody run into invisible players. I haven't seen any clips. And I'm sure if there was, people would say so in chat. But other than that, I have not run into any invisible players. The issue seems to be fixed on my end.
See, that's interesting that you say that, because prior to us going live, I actually was kind of having this conversation with Ash a little bit, and he had a little bit of a different take. So Ash, you want to share your experience?
Yeah, I mean, the invisible thing, that shouldn't happen in a game like this. Like, it's terrible. Apparently it was happening very frequently. Once again, knock on wood, like we talk about the cheaters, I've not dealt with them. I've only seen one invisible, I've only dealt with one invisible person that I know of, all wiped so far, and it was my friend coming in on a scav run. You know what I mean? But to be fair, I know a lot of the invisible people were teammates, and I've run most of this wipe solo so far, so I didn't really expose myself too much to it. So I've only seen the one. So a lot of this, or what I'm going to say here, is based off what I've heard or seen videos of. They did a fix for the invisible cheat or the invisible players at some point, and people still everywhere were saying you didn't fix it, and then they said they fixed the main reason, and some people were like, oh, we still see them. And then the most recent one, I said, not personal, I didn't see it, but I did have someone in my chat who I somewhat trust, who's played the game for a while, say that they still saw or ran into someone who was invisible. So whether it's completely fixed now, from what I heard, it doesn't sound like it, but it sounds like I'm hearing it less and less. It's not like, oh, I ran into 3 invisible people today. It's like, no, I still got one. Like a comment like that, you know what I mean? Instead of like it's an all day thing. So it seems like they're closing. If it's not already completely gone, they're at least closing in on getting rid of it completely. But yeah, like stuff like that can't be in games. I don't even know how that like happened, and took so long to fix.
Yeah.
It's just
personally,
like, come on.
Yeah. Well, personally, I feel like when myself or a teammate is invisible, that's good for me because it's one less person I can team kill. But I do see it being an issue, obviously. It's kind of one of those things. It's kind of ridiculous that this is something that we even have to talk about. Okay. I'm always saying to my chat that with Tarkov, we are constantly taking 1 step forward and 2 steps backwards, right? So with a video game, a multiplayer video game, it's a very basic concept that you need to be able to see who you're playing against. I mean, it's like you can't have a product out there and not be able to see the other people in the game. Like I don't understand how they let these things slip through the cracks. It's just so like alarming when you factor that in with the cheater situation, then you factor that in with the fact that you'll kill somebody and you can't loot them. And then I don't know if you guys have had it. I've had like, I don't know what you want to call it. It's maybe like a hand glitch where I'll go to heal and all of a sudden everything disappears from my hands. And then my camera like is all out of sorts. Like you go run and you're like the wacky inflatable tube man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like the very basic concepts of being able to see who you're playing and being able to use your gun in a shooting game. And we can't even do that right. So I don't know why it's always an issue where they fix one thing with, say, like the recoil, right? Everybody was fix the recoil, and that was great. But then, oh, we fixed the recoil. Here's these problems. I don't know what they got going on over there, but something needs to be done. I like you said, Gino, I'm not a game dev. I don't know how to do it. I could be talking out of my ass here. I probably am talking out of my ass here, but I don't know what we need to do to get this game working. Like, I feel like the game's not even working 50%. I feel like that's like a fair assessment. Like 50% of the game is not working. How do we see this as an issue? I mean, what are our solutions as content creators in this space? Like, how do you get through that all day? You know, like how do you deal with this stuff all day long, where it's one thing after another, and then still keep that smile on your face? You know what I mean?
I'm gonna be honest, it's been really hard recently, man. I think I did a count the other day. I survived. I think we did a count. I think it was 12 raids in 12 raids in 14 days. I survived in 2 weeks. I survived 12 raids, and but I still have people, saying, "Oh, well, you have radar. You're cheating on TikTok." I'm like, you just can come into a stream and see that I'm not cheating based on my survival rate at this point. It's one of those things. I don't know how I've been doing it. I think it's just like mainly because yes, my job is to stream and have some fun with chat and stuff like that. And the most I've had fun is with Tarkov, with chat. Now, Tarkov has been rough. Now, I don't know how I've been able to kind of get through it. I'll be honest. There have been plenty of days where I don't want to play any longer and switch games and go to DayZ or something. It's one of those things where I don't know how I've been doing it, but Tarkov definitely, I think, needs to get their shit handled because, as you said, I think I've mentioned this, earlier. I've been playing for 7 years, and this has always been a common trend: is they fix one issue and 3 issues come back. Like, for example, I believe this invisibility glitch was a thing a few wipes ago. I could be very wrong about that. There was something similar to that, though. I think it was invincibility. Like, you couldn't kill somebody. That was an issue a while ago. Once they fixed that, more issues came about. And I feel like every time that Battlestate makes something or like fixes an issue, we have 2 more issues either come back or 2 new issues. And it's getting ridiculous. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to code a game. I wish I could because I'd apply for an application over there. But the truth is, I'm tired of seeing a patch notes video, but then realizing like I'm happy that the patch is coming out, but then I realized to myself, like, this means that the game is going to be broken in other ways now. That's just how, as a creator, I have been the past few patch notes. Is like, I'm happy that the patch is there, but then I realize, like, this is going to break something else. Like, this is going to make the game either unplayable or they're going to fix the issue and that just cause other issues. And I think it's just something that it's been very frustrating as of recently. They're doing an okay job, removing the invisibility glitch. But can we just talk about how long that was in the game? That was weeks that this invisibility glitch was in the game. Maybe even a month. And I just don't think, as like you said, Fudge, as a first-person shooter, the core of the entirety of the game is shooting at somebody, without the hand glitch, or shooting at somebody with your AK. The fact that we couldn't even do that for a month is a little alarming. But that's my 2 cents. I'm going to be honest. Like, they got to do something. They got to do something.
Ash, I'm curious to see your take on it because, you're kind of more like, you and Gino's play styles are a little bit different, right? Gino, he likes to just run around and jump off balconies and sweat his ass off and whatnot. You, on the other hand, you're more like, you love making the content and you love the memes and fucking around. Not saying that you can't sweat your ass off. I've seen you wipe lobbies, but how does this affect you and what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, to bring up your first question before Gino's response is like, with how Tarkov is now, what do you do to like how do you prepare to play and keep a happy face on? And I would say play other games. Seriously, playing other games. There's no escaping, and no pun intended. There's no escaping from what Tarkov is right now. It's not in a good spot. It really isn't. With all that stuff going on, I mean, other changes that they've made, like you said, with the way you like to play the game, things are different, and it's not really something I can complain about because it's my personal preference. You know what I mean? If I play the game the way it's intended, sure, it wouldn't affect me as much. But that was the beauty of Tarkov for me for a while, was that you can kind of play any way you want. And I'm not talking like chads, rats, blah, blah, blah. I'm not talking that when I say play any way you want. You had people like Friendly Guy who would make people's day by giving them gifts. Boom, gone. you know, because they're catering to a certain thing. You know what I mean? Or me, like I hate redoing tasks. I really do. I'm on my, I think my 6th wipe now. I've gotten Kappa before. Like I don't want to do these tasks. Each wipe I do less and less tasks, like stop at a different level. I think this wipe I stopped doing tasks at like 26, right? But that used to be okay, you know, because you used to be able to play the way you wanted to. You know, I can get the early wipe fights, which were fun, you know, bad guns, bad ammo, bad gear, you know, and then like when you were done doing tasks, you know, people would continue their grind as they still do, and you could just make money and compete still. You know what I mean? You didn't have to grind all the tasks unless you wanted like Kappa. You did not have to grind so many tasks. You know, yeah, sure, things were unlockable here and there, but with the restrictions and things they changed, like it's tough for someone like me. Like I said, I can't really complain. This is my choice to play the way I want to. But right now, like, well, we're 2 months in, and my favorite gun's an SR to run, and I'm running BCP, right? As a Timmy, I used to delete that. I wouldn't even sell it to mechanic. I used to delete that ammo. If I was broke, like I knew I was down bad in Tarkov if I was running M80. That's how I felt, right? As a new player. And like it's 2 months in and I'm running BCP because now you can't do anything you want. You have to, it's not like play the game you want anymore. It's kind of like do tasks only, you know, whether some of it was changed due to RMT or some things were changed due to people complaining about metas, or this changed to make wipe last longer. Like it's all going to go player to player, you know, like if they think this will elongate wipe, to me, it's different because that's how I would get through mid wipe is I would make money in the game and I would buy the stuff to have fun, you know, and now I make money in the game and I buy garbage, you know, so like the people who are grinding are going to, sorry, I said they're going to shit on me. You know what I mean? Like, sure, yeah, you can get them with like cheap ammo, you know, good shot, whatever. But realistically, you know, you run into somebody, the grinder now is going to have the huge advantage. And it used to be like, if you played a ton, you know, you were kind of on the same like footing as everybody. And I play a shit ton. That's what we do for a living. You know, it's what we do. Like, so it's not a lack of like playing. It's just like depending on what you're going to prioritize. And now it's kind of seeming like the way it's set up is you got to play a certain way. Like I said, not play style, but play the game a certain way, more linear, you know, and whether or not that's good for the entire community, you know, it's up to the community to say. But for me, a lot of the changes are like, you know, the way I like to play. I like to have fun, you know, I like to do goofy stuff, but like you need money to do goofy stuff sometimes in game, you know, and I have the money, but I can't buy anything like that I want to do said goofy stuff. So it's just like, depends on who you are, what you want to get out of the game, you know, if you like grinding games or not. But that's kind of how I feel, to be honest. Playing other games has helped me deal with it. I'm going to be playing Tarkov today, so we'll see how that goes, you know. It's been a couple of days since I jumped in, so we'll see.
Fair enough. I just want to hit on some of the things that you had brought up. I know you said, oh, well, just play another game, right? For streamers, it's not always that easy, right? Because take me, for example, right? I've built my community on Tarkov, right? And strictly Tarkov. And I've noticed that a lot of times when I switch to another game, I see a huge drop in viewership, right? And, you know, sure, I could just say, screw it. I want to go do what I want to do, what's making me happy. But at the end of the day, it's my job, right? So if it's costing me, you know, my income, then okay, now I have to rethink, is it worth switching? So not everybody really can afford to just go play another game. But I think where I'm at with the game, you know, like we said, the game is 50% broken. But at the end of the day, it's still, to me, I feel like it's still the best first person shooter out there. Like, I feel like with all of its issues and all the bullshit that we deal with, if I play Tarkov and then I go switch to Warzone, or I go switch to you know, Apex or really whatever, I feel like Tarkov has the best content, has the best gunfights. It gives you the best adrenaline rush. I don't think that there's another game that can really emulate that experience. And that's with it being at, in my opinion, 50% functional, right? So now you have to think, well, if we get to 100% functional, how much more enjoyable, not even 100%, say 80%, how much more enjoyable would this game be, not only to the veterans of the game, but to new players to come in? Because I feel like right now we're not bringing in new players because of the state of the game. So that's just kind of where I'm at with it. We do have a question in chat. Oh, you want to go? Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick. Yeah, I understand what you said about people switching games. It's you asked me how I deal with it. You know, I'm not telling people to switch games. How I deal with it, I played something else. You know what I mean? But like
right.
you said,
I'm just going off of what you're saying.
I agree. I agree 100% with what you said. Like that's what is so shitty about the situation right now with Tarkov. To put it bluntly, like I feel the exact same way. It's like the way I always explain it is like people say Tarkov ruins other games for you, ruins other shooters for you, games in general. And that is true as hell for most people that play Tarkov that I know. You know, everyone kind of feels that way. And it was kind of like, this was Tarkov. This is how I would usually explain it. And this is every other game, right? And like Tarkov with all its issues is still right here. You know, like it's still like with everything going on, it's still like it's unmatched. But that's why it's so painful that we got to deal with this shit, because it's hard to play. You know what I mean? So it's like the game we see as the best, it's hard to play, but any other game, like it doesn't do it for us, you know? And that's what sucks, is like you want to play because the other ones aren't fun, but you can't even have fun playing the best game because people are invisible, people are cheating, you know, you can't do this, you can't do that, like desync that, like it's just like it's so tough like to wrap your head around. It's like I want to play Tarkov, like I only want to play Tarkov, but I like you can't. Like you just it's gonna mess with you, you know what I mean? Like things are so broken. There's such potential to be unmatched, but that's the shitty thing is even with all the problems, it's already still kind of unmatched. So it's like where's the where's the motivation to fix and make things better? It's already better than everything else while broken, and I think that just kills us, dude. It's like it like, yeah, like Griddle said, it's a chokehold, dude. It's crazy. It's unmatched and broken, and we don't want to play anything else, and it sucks. Like we have to deal with that.
Yeah. And to add on to that, if Nikita or anybody from BSG watches this video, yes, it sounds like we're shitting on your game. I mean, I could say personally I am shitting on your game, but it's because I love your game, and it's because I care about your game, and I want this game to do well, not just for me, but for new players that might pick it up. Okay. So I think that's important to add to, you know, everybody in chat. Yes, we're sitting here and we're bashing this game, and we're going in on this game, but it's because we care and because we love this game. Before we move on, Gino, do you have anything to add to what myself and Ash just said?
Not really. You guys kind of nailed it on the head. It kind of reminds me. It's funny that I'm bringing this up because it might give Ash some PTSD here, but you know, Tarkov is kind of like Patrick Mahomes. You know, even if he has an injury, he still is the greatest quarterback, and it's one of those things where you know. even though you know Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback, and then when he gets injured, he's still the greatest quarterback. And I think it's one of those things where Tarkov is very similar to Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where, you know, even with a broken leg, Tarkov is whatever sprained leg or whatever happened, even with whatever injury Tarkov has, it's still the best option out there. And I think it's just something that you guys kind of nailed it on the head there, that even when Tarkov is the greatest game, there's nothing else that comes close to it broken. You know, even when Tarkov is broken, there's still nothing that comes close to it, and it's very hard to switch games.
Okay, so we're gonna take one question from chat that was sent over to us, coming from Cadbury. can you guys talk about the importance of networking in Tarkov for streamers? You know, how important is it to network with other creators and such? Ash, if you want to take that one.
I mean, it's definitely. Yeah, networking is good. If are we talking about like a creator space at this point? Like, yeah, networking. Yeah, networking's huge. I mean, it varies in intensity on how important it is. I think where you are in your career or hobby, whatever you want to do. You know, like, early on in Tarkov, it was very, very good to network with like so many people and meet friends. You know, you have people to play with. Yeah, people to bounce ideas off of and stuff like that. As you grow, it might not be as quote unquote necessary, but it's still very important. You know what I mean? Like the sheer amount of networking to be done is probably the same, just in different regards. It's not as meet and as many people in, you know, meet other creators in this, but it's networking outwards towards other things. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I mean, if we're talking a creator thing, any game, it doesn't even need to be Tarkov. Like networking is what. Like people like networking gets people to hear you, see you, you know, vibe with you. Like otherwise, like if you're not doing that, there's like, it's just not going to happen, you know? Like, so yeah, I mean, networking is huge in the Tarkov space.
I mean, personally, I feel like networking is huge, like you said, just because it's a smaller game and whatnot. But also playing with other people kind of unlocks a whole different game. You know, like playing solo versus playing duos is a completely different game, and the content that you can make with other creators is just unmatched. So I feel personally it's very important to network and try to play with, you know, as many people as you can, and you know, maybe you find a group of people that you play with you know, better than others, and you keep your circle small. But either way, I think it's important to get out there and you know, meet people. Gino, what do you think?
I think networking as a streamer is one of the most important things that you can do. You know, I took advice when I was a 3-viewer Andy that, you know, networking isn't just, you know, going into somebody's stream and, you know, talking with them. It's making a friendship with people, you know, and I'm sure, you know, all of us in here, we've made friendships. You know, I've known Ash for a few years now, Fudge for a few years now. You know, we've all made friendships here. And it's one of the things, like, if we did not make these friendships, we wouldn't be on this podcast. You know, we wouldn't be on possibly Team Evasion. You know, we wouldn't be in this podcast together and, you know, so easily just having a conversation like this. You know, networking is so important as a streamer. And I think it's, you know, one of the most important things that you can go through as a streamer. And my number one tip to growing on Twitch and other platforms.
And we're actually going to take one last question coming in from Lone Wolf. He asked, are we seeing the downfall of Tarkov now? And is there any possibility of them trying to catch these issues before it's gone? What do you guys think? Do you think we're seeing the end of our game, or do you think there's still some gas left in the tank? Ash, what do you think?
Are we seeing the downfall of Tarkov? Yeah. Does it mean it's heading to sure death? No. You know, like this is definitely some sort of downfall, right? I don't even think that's opinion at this point. Like it's what it is right now. Like, but no, is it on its way to die? Like, is Tarkov going to be dead by the end of this wipe, by the end of the year? Do I think that? No, not like, I don't think it's going to die. I think it's in a bad spot where it is seemingly downhill, but is there a possibility that they catch it? I would assume so. You know, I would assume there is, but once again, I don't know shit about game developing. You know, BSG's track record on catching things in a timely manner and fixing them correctly is not great. You know, so like, does it look super promising? I would also say no. I don't know. Maybe it's just in my heart. I feel like Tarkov's not going to die, you know, but like, it's definitely not on a great path right now. They're not really showing that they can do things in a timely manner or correctly. You know, like you guys said, like once they fix one thing, it's broken. Something else is broken, or it's not completely fixed. Like, so the track record ain't great. I'm sure there are things to do, you know, that I don't know. Maybe they know, you know, maybe they're waiting to do certain things. Maybe they don't know yet, you know, but anything's possible, you know, like they could definitely, I'm hopeful. I can see it not going great, but I can see them figuring something out, because how can I say that they can't fix it? Maybe, like I said, solution they don't know yet. They can find a solution tomorrow. I don't know. But I'm hopeful. The game is too good of an idea and too well executed, like minus all of the broken things. Because you see other games try to emulate, I won't say emulate Tarkov, but emulate like risky extraction-based games. And even if those games didn't have problems, they wouldn't even compete. You know what I mean? So it's like the idea of the game is too good. Like the way they put out a lot of stuff that does work right now is too good. Like I don't see the game dying now.
Gino?
I think downfall is a really weird word to use. I think downfall is like meaning that it's going to, the end. It's going to die. No, I think Tarkov, I've always said this on my stream, I come from Counter-Strike. In my opinion, Tarkov is very much so like Counter-Strike when it comes to, it's the GOAT of the genre, like no matter what game comes out, like Valorant, or what issues happen, like Counter-Strike has always had, there's always going to be people coming back to Tarkov. I don't think Tarkov will ever die. Now, will it? I don't know. But in my honest opinion, Tarkov will never die because it is the first to do it in the genre, and it is the first to do everything that we see in these extraction-based shooters. Tarkov to me seems very much like Counter-Strike. The more competition that it has, the better it's going to do. Valorant came out and CS just posted some of the highest statistics that it's ever had. With this competition, such as the few games out right now that are extraction-based shooters, it's a good thing. And I don't think Tarkov will ever die. Downfall, I don't think it's a right word. I think it's on a downward trend, but like somebody in chat earlier, Tarkov has been on a uphill, downhill trend ever since I started playing this game. It gets really good, and then it gets really bad, and it's one of those things where I think as a player base, it will never die. It will never go on a complete downfall, because the truth is, if it's really that bad, they'll just wipe the game, and then bam, players are back, so that's just how I look at it. No matter how bad Tarkov gets, all they have to do is just hit the wipe button, and all of a sudden, OGs are coming back to Tarkov to try it for another wipe, and I think it's going to be like that for years, no matter how bad the issues are.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you worded it better, like the not necessarily downfall. Yeah, you said what I wanted to say, but in a better way. And like someone in chat said, it's like peaks and valleys, and we're on a down valley right now, but hopeful for a peak. Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely spiraling downwards, but feel like as long as BSG has a thread to hang on, Tarkov will always be there. So that's gonna wrap up our podcast this evening, guys. But I know I did see a lot of questions in chat, people asking, when is Evasion going to put out more events? So Evasion has an arsenal of events ready, but with all the issues going on right now, they're unable to run anything competitive, just for the fear of, anything ruining that competitive nature, such as invisibility, so on and so forth. But if you guys want to stay updated on when these events are going to come out, make sure to follow Evasion on Twitter to stay up to date with the latest happenings. With that being said, Ash, where can we find you?
AshIV_, like the name you see right there. Everywhere. YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok. If you type that name in somewhere, you'll find me. I promise.
What are your normal live hours if somebody wants to go
for live stuff specifically? I usually start at 2 p.m. I usually start at 2 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Thursday, and then I do a short 3-hour stream on Fridays, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern. So I usually do about 5 hours a day, take weekends to edit content and stuff. So I will be live right after this. But yeah, it's pretty cut and dry on when I'm live. If you're there between 2 and 7 p.m. Eastern, my face will be there most likely on a weekday.
If you guys have never caught an Ash stream, I always say this, and maybe take your headphones off. I don't want your head to get too big, Ash, but Ash has some of the best production quality and best entertainment there is on Twitch. You do yourselves a favor, drop him a follow, make sure you guys watch him. Excellent entertainment. Gino, where can we find you?
Well, you can find me basically everywhere. I don't have the exact name like Ash does, on all platforms wherever this is. Yeah. That, look me up on, TikTok, YouTube, whatever. You'll find me there, but I don't have the name. Some of it is TTV Gino, some of it is Gino, some of it is Gino CS, like my Twitter. It all depends. Just look me up. You should be able to find me. And if you want to stop by my stream, I start every single day at 8:30 a.m. And I've been going until around 3 p.m. Eastern. And I've been doing an occasional afternoon stream here and there. And that has been a lot of fun. Other than that, I love to see you in chat. You don't want to stop by? That's okay too. I still love you.
And my name is FudgeXL. I'm live every day at 7 a.m. Eastern until about noon. And then I do a second stream a little bit later in the evening, roughly 3 o'clock. And then it's just going to be FudgeXL on all socials. And once again, guys, don't forget to follow Evasion on all socials to stay up to date. We do appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We appreciate all the questions, and hopefully we were able to answer some of your questions. So until next time, thank you guys for tuning in, and have a wonderful day.